like it, and it represents changing my life. I've never had I never wore jewelry before at all. Not even a.
You got a watch on?
I just started.
Did you start wearing a watch?
I did. You can ask my mother.
I didn't ask your mother. How old are you? Ask your mother.
I live with her. Her and my brother got me to start wearing watches. My brother collects. So,
hey, it's Kevin Allen and Matt the Hat
Matt
here.
The Hat.
Coming to you with just a few minutes of our style of whatever it is we're doing, creating podcasts, creating content, and just really getting ready to hopefully bring some entertainment to you and hopefully a smile. So Matt lives with his mom.
I live with my mother,
and
she takes care of me right now. I had spinal surgery, so I can't really even bend over to tie my shoes. So she has to kind of help me with that. I don't have a wife to help me along with those things, which is actually, I think, a little better having mom help me.
Okay, well, we have a lot on the table for today's discussion. Matt living with his mom, which is, in some ways,
super. Because she brought me a bowl of food yesterday for the Super Bowl, and it was a super bowl of food. And I just want to say thanks, Mom. That was super.
Super bowl of food. Awesome.
Thank you.
Matt is going to share with us on this short but informative moment. You know what? I just want to get into it. So
let's do it.
How's it like living with your mom? Because this is weird. I mean, I'm not saying look. I'm not
it's
crapping
not
on you. I'm just saying.
I've lived by myself for.
By the way, I was homeless less than 3 months ago, and I was living down in Daytona with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
So I understand how uncomfortable I was. I'd like to know how uncomfortable you are.
It's extremely uncomfortable. Being a grown man who lived by myself for the last 5 years, and then I lived with my family that I had built up. I had a girlfriend with kids, and we were living together for almost a decade. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty much, the man of the house for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. Now I'm living at my mother's house, and I kind of have to do things her way because it's her home.
Do you feel like, though, sometimes like your mom is maybe more like a partner to you in your life because you're older now? It's not like when you're a kid.
No. Well, I mean, I guess when you say it like that, like at first I thought partner, but no.
I didn't mean in a creepy way.
Right.
That sounds creepy. I mean, I'm not saying
there's no like it's teamwork. We help each other as best we can. I try to clean up as much as I possibly can. Right now, being able to do only so much, again because of the spinal surgery, but I can't even say partner because she's the one who's doing the majority of everything. She's been taking care of me. She's been making sure that I'm on the road to recovery. We found out that I had way more scar tissue than we had imagined. So my recovery time doubled. And that kind of caught her off guard. She didn't realize how bad it was. So that's why I think part of the reason that she stepped up the way that she has is because for a long time, her and my brother would doubt me about it and almost make it like I was making an excuse. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't do this because of my back. Oh, I can't do that. I don't have the strength in my legs, and now they see, oh, that was real. So
is it for you? Is it over? Are you over? You're happy being here? I mean, is it something you want to get out of that situation? I mean, I'm asking straight up, man. This is like man talk, man. Because you know what, men are interesting because what I've experienced is through all the things I've gone through. Yeah, there's a lot of like I'm embarrassed. And I'm not saying you should be. I'm saying me. Oh. I was embarrassed. I still have so much regret and many things. I sometimes when I think about it, it makes my pain. It's a pain in my heart. Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, you're living at your mom's and you're trying to get where you're going. You got this condition. I mean, patience is key. But are you ready to get moving?
It's like when I was in prison or in rehab, they say, you're going 0 miles an hour right now. Yeah. As soon as you touch down, as soon as you get out into the real world, it's literally 0 to 100 miles an hour, not 60. Mm-hmm. It's 0 to 100. Mm-hmm. And if you're not ready, you're not prepared, it's going to pass you by. So, yes, I am eager, I guess would be the term. I'm antsy. I feel like I've got anxiety every day. There's so many things that I want to be doing. Mm-hmm. There are places that we could be going. To do
me and you,
for our show.
We're a couple.
Yeah, we're a couple. I'm the big spoon.
Matt the Hat.
Matt the Hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we should be out on the road getting stuff done,
creating
talking
content
to people,
creating
content.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Do you think we should grow up? Like, because a lot of people in our lives,
No.
right, will tell me,
No.
most people in my lives all the time will be like, "Why are you doing this? You're 54." I know I don't look 54. I know sometimes it's hard, right? Because it's hard because you look older than I do, and
that's cute.
Weird.
That's cute. It's the beard. I have no wrinkles on my face,
and I did shave, which cleaned me up. But
you did. I was gonna mention that today.
Shaving that extra fur off,
it helps.
Was definitely like a few years of.
I like to let mine get a little bushy and then go to my.
You're a good-looking young guy, bald head.
I try.
Guy,
Thanks, man.
But like, people tell me in life, people that were in my life, no longer in my life, or people even still in my life, are like, "Why are you doing this?
Get a job.
What?
Get a real job."
I was explaining to you on the way to our studio today that in March I start filming a new reality TV show series.
Before you go any further, can I ask you, do you think that you would be filming that reality show if you had gotten a real job, if you had given up on your dreams, if you had grown up, as people say? No, you already grew up. You have dreams that you didn't give up on. And that's where people forget. And they're the ones who are giving up. They're the ones who quit on everything.
I feel though at times like it's like, you know what, man? It's like, I know right now that if I would have done this differently, I would have had a different outcome. I have regret. And so the regret sometimes lays on me, but then I have the reality of the things that are happening. And of course, ever since I accepted Christ and I was saved, and that's, a year ago, everything in my life's changed. And even the relationships with people has changed. And it's interesting to me because I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
I don't gamble. I don't lie. I don't look at porn. I don't do any of these things that, I know were distractions in my life, and they're probably distractions in somebody's life that's watching this right now. Not saying it happened to you, Matt, but as soon as I cleaned all that up and I focused on this journey, it frustrated the people around me more than ever. More than ever.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, man, like to this point, you were my partners and you were building this with me. And then all of a sudden you had enough, but I'm supposed to have enough too, right? It's like time to quit. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying. I 100% understand what you're saying. People do it to me. That's what ended up happening with my kid's mother and I. She ended up
relationship.
Yeah, in our relationship. We have a carpet cleaning business. We, we're fine. And she was like, "Oh, get a real job." And I'm like, "You don't even have a job. You stay home with the kids because of how good the business does."
Listen, being a mom is a real job. Nobody out there, and I don't want anybody out there to think I'm advocating for that, because I
was a stay-at-home dad for 3 years.
Yeah.
I worked at night while the kids were with her. And I had the kids all day long during COVID. I was doing at-home schooling. So I was a stay-at-home dad. So I know how it can be difficult, but at the same time, I know how rewarding and fulfilling that type of job can be and feel for someone who is a parent.
I think it's harder being a man.
Yes, because of
being a single father in today's world. Do you think it's harder than that being a single woman in today's world? Why do you think that?
His mother can put in for my children. She doesn't even have to show up to court. If
You sound bitter right now.
I'm bitter. I'm giving a real.
No, I'm just.
It may sound bitter.
I'm being real, right? I'm just saying
fine.
You sound like a bitter.
I am a bitter baby daddy.
You are.
When it comes to that, yeah.
Do you think the system's catered?
Well, here, let me finish that.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have cut you off.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to say that she doesn't have to come to court. I have to go to court. If I don't go to court, even after a judge tells me, as long as you're paying your child support, you don't have to show up, they still will file a capious warrant on you if you don't show up to court. And then they'll ask you when you go back into court, why didn't you show up? And then you tell them, "Oh, remember you told me I didn't have to go?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, oops. Guess we shouldn't have put that warrant out for your arrest."
And that's a system in place.
That is our current system in place.
I had a guy on a long time ago on my first, I don't know what podcast it was. It was maybe, it might have been News Rocky or the Kevin Allen Show. I don't know. And his name was Peter. And his whole fight was against the system. And he came on and he explained it to me, quite honestly, because I've never been dragged through the system because my kids were older when I went through my divorce.
Very fortunate.
I didn't have to go through that, but I hear a lot of stories, and men seem to be the stories I hear from men are that they're the victim And then you got to get to the reality, like there's probably his, hers, and the truth in there. So
always.
But it's the system. I don't care about whether or not you and your ex or me and my ex or whatever are fighting.
Right.
But is the system rigged towards women and not men, in your opinion?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
They believe that women are more important. Mothers are more important than fathers. They believe that 100%.
Are they?
No. They're equal. Now, what I'll say is, as a younger child, I would say the mother is definitely needed. But like, look at what's going on in society. All these people winding up in prison, coming from fatherless homes. When the children get older, they need their father to be in place. They need to be with their father, and that's the way that it should be.
Well, you're living with your mom, so you self-admit right here through this whole like talk. Yeah. We're just having a.
It took prison for me to finally man up.
Appreciate your mom.
Yeah.
You told her that?
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, I've told her several times. Then when I had my kids, I called her and thanked her and said, "Thank you for loving me this much. I didn't know that anybody could." Mother makes meatloaf, and it's the best meatloaf.
Did you just call her mother?
Mother. Yes.
Mother makes meatloaf. You just licked your chops, man.
Yes. My mouth is watering. The meatloaf that she makes is second to none.
Could we reenact Will Ferrell's famous scene from Wedding Crashers?
Oh man,
when he's on the couch. I'll give you a robe.
You're gonna hate it, but I've only seen that movie once.
But you know what he yells, "Ma, bring me my meatloaf."
I didn't know. I don't remember that.
He's yelling.
I could do Step Brothers line by line.
Could you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We'll get to that one in a minute.
I like Step Brothers.
But so it's kind of
Talladega Nights.
It's as a former lawmaker.
Law enforcer. Oh no, you were a lawmaker.
I was I was a corrections guy, which was basically
so an enforcer.
Yeah, in a sense, chasing fugitives.
But then you were also in politics.
I was.
So you were a lawmaker.
We dealt with some of these issues. Some of these issues became law. Some of the things that are affecting the system.
Okay.
And I have always been objective, and so I will say this: women deserve respect.
They do, absolutely. 100%.
And I say this in the way that I think that the system has created some obstacles for men to overcome. I don't know. I haven't been through the system like you, so I'm learning as you explained and all this. But I think women also, because if the system didn't grow to like it was, listen, we know back in 20, 30 years ago, your grandmothers, whatever, men just left the women.
Yeah.
And they didn't have no recourse.
Yep.
So at least now there's something, maybe it's over the top. I don't know. Maybe it should be a little less. I don't know.
Well, I think it should be 50 feet, which is damn near impossible. But I honestly believe darn near impossible. I owe another quarter. What am I at now?
About $370,000.
I was going to say like 734.
You're like 300.
And we're talking like, hey, you swore put a quarter in the jar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put another quarter in the jar.
I'm trying.
So, what are we doing right now?
Sitting on a nice, comfy couch in the studio, discussing whatever we want to discuss.
Just having some fun.
Yep, we are having a blast. We're talking about topics.
You talked about your cross.
I
did.
Never
wore jewelry before.
Never wore jewelry. Watches felt funny on my wrist. I didn't like the way they felt. Necklaces, I didn't like how they would lay in my like if I was laying like this, they'd get stuck and say a little kink in the chain, and it gets caught in the beard, and it's ripping beard hair out. So yeah, I was never really into jewelry until within the last year and a half.
When you were in the prison,
I saw quite a few guys wearing big gaudy chains with big crosses, and I would ask, how on earth do you have that? And they would tell me it's a religious thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would know that that's complete BS because they had their friends and family who were working in the prison system, making it possible for them to have these things. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on in the prisons where you can tell who's getting what. And
so in the prison system itself, though, you were there. How long were you incarcerated?
In total, or in total, just under 4 years.
What was your first night like? Like the first night you went in the prison, like, do you remember what it felt like? The first night you slept in a prison.
See, I was sentenced. The first night.
Whatever the first night we went to prison, whatever, can you remember it?
I can. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sentenced. I knew that there was an end. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, and that, okay, I'm in prison right now, but I'm gonna be getting out. So my first night, I was able to sleep like a baby. I knew that I was going in there to change myself for the better. There was nothing that was going to happen that was going to be negative to me in my mind.
What was your sentence when you walked in that door?
2 years.
So you walked in that building knowing you're going to sleep in this place. They're going to keep
me for at least a year.
At least a year.
Yep, because of transitional supervision.
Was there a sense of loss? Like a sense of scared or
no?
Were you scared?
No. Nope. I went in
not
there,
intimidated.
I went in not intimidated in the least because.
So you've been in jail before then?
No, I have people who had been in jail who talked to me and explained it to me. You know, like you go in there, you show respect, you'll get respect. Mm-hmm. You treat people the way you treat people out on the street, and you'll be just fine because of how I am. They were talking about me individually. Now, you may be a type of person who isn't as respectful to people. Don't go in there being disrespectful. Don't go in there expecting respect either. You don't just get respect. You have to give to get. When you see people, you nod your head or you look the other way. You don't look in people's cells. Little things that you would take from this.
You got to learn all the inside, scoop of. So, but you personally, so I want to get to you.
Yeah.
I want to get to the little Matt who's inside everyone. I got a little Kevin inside me. You got little Matt. Somebody. Little Matt's going inside the prison, right? And all of a sudden, dude, it's like, it's got to be scary, man. I don't care what way you look at it.
I went in there and my cellie.
You told me you didn't have any nervousness when you walked in. I just can't believe that's crazy.
I knew I was going in. Mm-hmm. I was able to prepare. I was able to take care of my affairs and get things done because I was out on bond. Mm-hmm. So I knew I was going away. I was able to mentally prepare myself. Mm. Now, if it's your first night, if you get arrested and you get thrown in jail, that is some scary stuff. That's
So you've been arrested on the street and put in lockup?
Yes, I've been.
Was that scary?
That was scary.
To what?
Because the ants on the floor, the cops would come in while I'm sleeping and say I had a blanket under my head and I'm sleeping on it. They would walk in, reach through the bars and pull the blanket out from under my head and try to intimidate me and be like, oh, you're a tough guy. You think you're tough. You're this and that. The guy in the cell next to me robbed some woman at a ATM and they would go in there and say, why don't you try robbing me? Huh? You think you're a tough guy? You think you're this and that? They would come in and play mind games with you. I remember I woke up.
Do you hate cops?
No, not in the least.
Are you mad at the cops for that behavior then, or have you been able to make amends with it?
No, I made amends with it. Okay. Yeah, my breakfast was on the floor next to all the ants, so there was no respect in there. They don't, they treat everybody
like. How did you spend in lockup?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I went.
So that was a work. Would you say in the comparison of worst experiences, the 3 days there compared to the year, 2 years? How many? Would you say 4 years?
Yep.
4 years you're incarcerated.
4 years I was incarcerated.
Did you catch him in charge?
There's a difference. No, there's a difference between. Oh yeah. I got out. I violated probation.
And you went back. Right, we'll get to that. Yeah.
But there's a difference between incarceration and jail. Jail, you go to. Say you get arrested, you get taken to Montville Troop E Barracks. Mm-hmm. This is a regular police station, and it's Friday, so you can't go to court until Monday. You don't get to shower. You don't get to change your clothes. You don't get to do anything. You're stuck in the cell. You can hope and pray that they're going to give you your phone call, but that phone call could come Sunday night. Mm-hmm. You could be there Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday get your phone call. Mm-hmm. The bondsman may not show up until Sunday. Mm-hmm. So you may not even get a bond until Sunday. You may sit the entire weekend in the same clothes, same underwear, same nasty, funky breath building up, same cheese sandwiches that they keep giving you with a little orange drink, same size as the milk cartons that they give you in elementary school. There's nothing positive about prison in the least.
Should it be?
No.
It's a
well, right? Actually,
what's your opinion?
Institutionalized, there should be some positive things. You should be able to get rewards.
That's in the prison.
Yes.
But the lockup, even though
the lockup is just.
Should it be that way? Because it should be
for a day. You should be there for a day.
You should hate it.
You should hate it.
So looking back, as much as you hated that experience, you think it's a good place for someone to learn, hey, this is not the direction you want to go. Yeah. So there is some value to it. So listen, there's no secret.
Like I said, I was raised by my mother. Yeah. My stepdad wasn't involved at all. He didn't give about me. Didn't like me. Made it very abundantly clear to him, his kids. Even his kids would ask him why he doesn't like me while we were children. So, and I had friends' parents who would ask me if he hits me.
Were you a bad kid?
No.
Were you like a pain in the butt? Did you ask a lot of questions? Inquisitive? Eating a lot?
Stayed away from him.
Just avoided him because you knew right away this guy's.
I could tell the way he looked at me. Mm-hmm. He would drive his knuckles into my ribs. He would do this monkey bite thing, and he would hold on.
He'd do it the wrong. Yeah.
He would do it the hard way.
Is it weird? Like, okay.
He'd do it to my brother, and it'd be funny. He'd do it to me, and I'd cry. And he'd go, "Oh, you're a baby."
Let me ask you about that.
It's like, you're a grown ass man.
You're gonna get me on the ADD.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to go down this hole here. So, watching humans' behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I watch people play with kids, or like you're talking about, like in that case, and even with adults, and you see the real anger in their eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, isn't it sick that we have that in our? I mean, for an adult to pick on a child, and I've seen it too myself.
Yeah.
I've never felt that energy to pick on a child, but it's kind of weird how humans are.
Because and it's like
we're messed up people. We're messed up.
We are.
We're not people, but humans.
In general, yeah. Because this guy was like 6'2", 285 pounds. Could have gone pro playing football. He got kicked out of University of Hartford because he got caught with weed.
Oh wow.
Yep, he got kicked out of
What
University of Hartford.
Football? 1940s or 50s?
80s.
80s.
Late 70s, 80s. Yeah, big dude. 6'2", 285, big guy. And he was mean to me.
He didn't like you.
Did not like me. I think he sold
so
my
father. Does it hurt you a little bit thinking back that why didn't this dude like me? He could have been
not so much why didn't he like me. It more hurts me that like I would try to tell my mother about it at one time. And she goes, one day you're going to have a family of your own. So I need to worry about my family. It was just kind of like, oh, damn, I'm not your family. She doesn't remember saying this. She's like, I didn't say that, but I'll never forget.
It's hard to place. And I'm not saying it because I just came out of a relationship and 2 children. And as a mom, you got to protect your kids, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's like your and so it's understandable that you asked her that question. And then at the end of the day, moms or men, you know, in coming together in relationships, they want to have this like Cinderella story.
Yeah.
So you sometimes turn a blind eye to stuff, and who gets affected? The kids. You think that upbringing affected you and maybe helped you make bad decisions because you didn't have a man?
Yeah, I ran away from home because of him.
Because of him.
Yeah.
So he did cause something in your life.
Yeah. I was 16, 17. And I was like, I'm done. Yep. Left the house. I was living under the bridge for 2 weeks before.
What bridge?
New London, Gold Star. I would sleep over by Hodges Square.
Where?
Right down under the bridge. Right down, you know where Hodges Square is?
I mean, where did you sleep?
No, I literally would just sleep outside.
Where did you shower?
Post right up. Didn't shower.
Oh, you went totally in. You went deep.
I was all in for 2 weeks.
Nasty teeth?
Yeah, it was gross.
Your teeth get bad?
No.
They say that you can go just so long without cleaning your mouth.
I used Listerine.
You rinsed out with Listerine. Mm-hmm. You didn't have any money on you. Broke.
Well, I had a little bit of cash because I was selling like weed and shit. And
okay.
I got the GI Bill. So, because I was going into 3 Rivers. So.
Were you in the Guard?
No. My dad was in.
So you qualified for the GI Bill through
them.
Yeah. So you're living on the streets, and so what happened to get you incarcerated from the streets? That beginning to get us in prison.
I linked up with some people who had a drug house, and I was staying with them. They were selling drugs out of the house, and then they wanted to borrow my car. So
how'd you get a car if you're homeless?
I got my Chevy Blazer.
Yeah.
Remember, or I don't know if I told you about this, but like right before I went to prison, I had bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I had a red Chevy Blazer as well that I bought for $500 when I was 16. Mm-hmm. My first car. Mm-hmm. Well, second car. Mm-hmm. My first car died.
Full size, small one.
Small, 2-door. S10 size.
2-door. I like those. Those are those are killer if you rock those to
vinyl interior.
Yeah.
Cherry red, mint condition when I first got it.
Yeah.
Ended up getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Getting arrested. I had just recently bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee. My mother let my brother use it.
Oh boy.
Allowed may contain things not suitable for younger audience. Subject age restricted. Okay. That's fine because we're talking about prison.
I don't think there's anybody watching, is there?
Yeah, you got 3 people. But so I'm living under the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sleeping in my Blazer because it's at my mother's house. So I get my Blazer.
Mm-hmm.
Go stay with this kid, Brian, and his brothers, and end up there was a hotel robbery. I didn't know that we were robbing a hotel. I thought we were going to a party. That's what I was told was we're looking for a party. So we went to 3 different hotels. Each time they would go inside, wait a couple minutes. I'm waiting in the parking lot. They would come out. Everything was fine. Oh, no, not this party. Nope, this isn't the hotel. This isn't the hotel. So then we go down to the It's at the end of Route 184. I forget the name of it. It's got individual hotels. Like they're all individual rooms at the end of 184 in Mystic area. Like when you get to the Rotary.
Yeah.
If you follow 184 down,
yeah.
There's this. What is the name?
Yeah, those little cottage looking things.
Yes.
Yeah. They've redone them. I mean, whatever. Yep. So I know where you're at. Yeah.
Yep. So we pull up there. I park at the bottom of the hill. They go up to check and see. I forget the girl's name that we were looking for her party. I forget all those little details. Like I said, it's been 22 years since this happened. But Cedar Park Inn. That was the name. I know you're talking about. Cedar Park Inn. Mm-hmm. They came running down the hill. Door flips open. Seat folds forward. Bag gets thrown in the back. One dude jumps in the back. Another dude jumps in the back. Seat flies forward. Dude hops in. He's got a gun in his hand like this. Now, when I think about it now, he wasn't pointing it at me. But he hops in and it's like this. And you're me. Drive, drive, drive. I'm thinking it's a real gun. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I just peel off. Drove down the road. We get to the employee lot for Foxwoods. Mm-hmm. Let him out. He gets in his car, the kid Brian. He gets in his car, starts driving back to the house. We follow him back to the house. Turns out what they did was they stole rent. People pay rent to stay there. And they got a bunch of cash. And I had no idea about the cash.
The place got all the cash. So they went and crashed in again.
They got all the cash. They got a credit card machine so they could read people's credit card numbers. Mind you, I have no fucking clue any of this. Excuse my terminology.
That's a really big swear.
I'm sorry about that. That's a $4 swear. I had no clue. None. I had no idea what had happened until we got back to the house and I saw the credit card machine. And I was like, what the?
How long till you got caught?
Oh, it took 2 weeks before detectives were at my house.
Detectives from state police?
Montfield Troop E, yeah.
Troop E. Yeah.
Yep. Came to my house first day. They wanted to talk to me outside.
So you weren't living under the bridge anymore. You find that back home.
After that had happened, I called my mother and was like, listen, I want to come home. And
Did you tell her what happened at the time or no?
No. I just told her I wanted to come home. She asked me if something happened. I told her, no, I just want to come home. She said, okay. 2 weeks go by of me being silent, not saying anything. Finally, cops show up at the house, the detectives. I go out into the car and they're asking me all sorts of questions. What kind of car do I drive? Who do I hang out with? Was I staying at the house? They knew about the house. Apparently, one of them used to work there. And the way that they did everything when they went in.
They knew. Inside job.
Inside job, yeah. Mm-hmm. And like,
So you were the driver?
I was the driver.
So getaway person. So you in this crime, they charged you with what?
Criminal liability for another person for robbery 1.
And then the other 2 got charged with robbery 1. And how much time they get?
I want to say they got 5.
You ever talk to him again?
One of them, yeah.
Forgive him?
Yeah, we talked. We hashed it out. He wrote a statement on me.
Saying what?
That I picked him up from work that night and we went and it was my idea.
Yeah.
Like I set it all up and they were afraid of me. They had a drug problem. So they tried to list it as a drug problem and saying that I had total control over them.
What did he do when you confronted him about him setting you up? Like that, like trying to set you up?
I had kids at the time. I had a job. Like I was at my job and his family came in and sat down at my table. Margaritaville. And the way that him and I started talking was his ass and it broke on the floor and their grandmother was there and they were worried about her getting cut with glass and shit and stuff because she was trying to clean up the glass. So I really quickly hopped on the floor and was like, no, don't do that. I'll clean it up, get everything. I was very attentive to the grandmother. I knew who these people were. They knew who I was. So after I get everything cleaned up, this dude Sean comes up to me and he goes, I just wanted to let you know, I hope there's no hard feelings or anything like that. And I was like,
did he take ownership?
Yeah, he admitted to it. He said he wrote the statement and I just kind of like.
Is he off drugs now?
Yeah, he's off drugs. That's why I was kind of like, he's got a job. He used to work at this store in the Crystal Mall. Then he was working at this store in Mohegan Sun. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put him out there like that, but
Matt the Hat sharing a story about the real deal of crime, the price you pay to run the streets, right? And
Yeah.
it's not, but redemption.
Well,
right?
real quick before you go into that, I
yeah.
just wanted to say that whole guilt by association thing, like that's a real thing. And the way I look at it now, I take full responsibility. I could have said no to the driving. I could have. There's lots of different things that I could have done that could have changed it. When the police came to me, I could have been honest right from the jump.
Sure.
But I wasn't. I lied. I said I don't know what they were talking about. They're barking up the wrong tree. It took for them to put the statement down in front of me. Dude, basically what happened was he said to them that I was the driver. I picked him up from work. I was the driver, and he got pulled over coming home from work that night with someone else in the car. So I wasn't the person who drove him home. So when they confronted him with that, it's literally read on the statement that he instantly looked down to the ground. His eyes had filled up with tears. He put his hands on his face, and then he asked for his attorney. And that's when all of a sudden it was, oh, Matt strong-armed us. We were afraid of him because I was bigger than all.
Did you get sentenced to a higher sentence because of their statements?
No, actually, because his statement basically was that I had picked him up, and they already had proof right there that he was lying. So, yeah.
Did the system treat you a little more respectfully than them?
No, because it doesn't read out criminal liability for another person for robbery one. It just reads out.
Did you get honest at all and say, "Hey, this is what I did"?
Yeah.
And did you feel like that was snitching?
No, because I didn't mention what they did or anything like that. I just said I drove away. That's it. I said I don't know what happened inside of there. All I know is they came running down. We got in the car and went back to the house.
Well, this is the real confessions of Matt the Hat right here with Kevin Allen. And we're just more. Yeah, I know you do. And we have lots more to bring you as well. But these are going to be short little interviews that we do, just kind of pop up things. Mark, the producer, you wanted this. There you go. You got some. It is $6.75 that Matt spent today in swearing.
Yep.
Check out the Prayed Up Network, where we bring you a lot of different content. Now, some people are confused because they hear my journey and they're like, hey, the Prayed Up Network and all this stuff. And then you got this crazy guy. Well, let me tell you about the crazy guy. First and foremost, we talk to everybody here. And Matt's a very good friend. He's got a good spirit and good soul. And he's on his way to figuring it out, not just with Christ, but in life and in general. Yeah. And so we're here to support that, but also provide that for you to witness and watch and listen to this man's story, because his story could help somebody out there, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And that's why we're going to continue to just keep dropping this kind of content. And at the end of the day, I hope that you, anyone that's out there, takes away this piece of that story. 1 second, one split second in your life can change everything. Everything. I want to get more into that a little bit more on the next whatever we do podcast pop up right here. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you like what we're doing. And we do have a good chemistry. Everyone that's talked to me so far is like, you guys have a chemistry, work on it, get it right, and then bring it out and let's see what you got, right?
Yeah.
So
what are we on, our third week?
Yeah, we're on our third week. So hey, speaking about the third week, Cash Map Consulting LLC right there. You can see it, Cash Map Consulting LLC. They're a great company, aren't they, Matt?
Absolutely, they are.
What do they do?
The Cash Map actually helps you map out your financial future. So it's no longer just a
wonderment.
Yeah, it's no longer shooting it's like shooting
fish
in the barrel.
Shooting fish in the barrel.
It's that easy. That's the way to make it out for you.
Cash Map. Check them out today, Consulting LLC. We're going to have Dennis Williams is going to be coming on. He just got back from vacation, getting into his office chair. We'll call him tonight, trying to set that up. Get Cash Map on with us one day here on this show. And if you're not looking to get your money, maybe you've already solved that problem. Maybe you're one of those great people out there, unlike myself, who's terrible when it comes to money. Maybe you need another service that's available. And this is the one that I think is going to make sense to a lot of the folks that are towards retirement. Say you have an insurance policies or retirement systems. You want to reach out to who?
Joseph Lombardi at Ironhawk Financial. Who else?
What's his phone number?
203-815-3673. One more time. That's 203-815-3673.
Did we say 20 or 20? Because when people say 20, does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but people get bothered by it.
Yeah, I've had people. It's 0.
My phone number, I always do that, 4808. And people are like, it's 0.
Is that what you do?
Yep.
All right. Hope you enjoyed it.